Perfect.
Okay, looks like we're live. All right, well, thank you so much for being here, everybody. Welcome. I have Kari Olson, my dear friend, here with me today, who is going to tell us about her incredible story and how digital marketing has helped her to just really change her life for the better. Her story is kind of the headline is that she made 100K in 67 days when she started, which is just so inspiring. Um, and so, Carrie, like my community, it's called Escape Healthcare Burnout. So, other people can resonate with this as well, but specifically because you are a healthcare professional or you were an occupational therapist. Um, can you kind of take us back to the beginning, like when you realized that you were burnt out and something needed to change? Take us kind of back to the beginning and tell us about your story, like what your life looked like back then.
All right. And thanks for having me, Tiffany. Super excited to be here.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I graduated from OT in 1996, so a long time ago. I knew at 12 years old I wanted to be an occupational therapist and went for it. And it was what I thought was my life goal, my one of my purposes, and I loved it for many, many years. It got really hard around, um, not that it got hard, my life got hard around 2012. I was diagnosed with cancer. My ex decided our marriage was not very much fun anymore and literally walked out one day, left me with my three little kids and a house in foreclosure. So I was like, gosh, I worked at a public school at the time as an OT for a school for the blind and the deaf. And I was like, okay, well, this is not enough, even full time. So I got a second job. And when that wasn't enough, I got a third job. I was trying to take on the mortgage. I was obviously not prepared to take on the mortgage completely by myself. And so I'm like, well, I just got to do what it takes. And so I was raised in that mentality, like if something's not working, you work harder and you work more and you work longer. And I think that, obviously is a recipe for disaster because a full-time job, two part-time jobs, three little kids who are like, what is happening? And me who's trying to recover like physically, emotionally, everything. I was just like, oh gosh, this is hard. But I knew I was going to do whatever it takes. And so that set me on that path for looking for additional streams of income. So yeah, I got into a lot of different things. I kept saying for the longest time, like 21 different things over the past 12 years of looking. And then last Thursday, I sat down and I wrote them all out, and it was actually 31 things. I'm like, this is so embarrassing. But it was just like things were hard, or things were like you would hear about them and people would overpromise and underdeliver, or maybe it was a network marketing thing and you're like, this is amazing. And then you get in and like your upline is awful, or the products actually don't really work, or like a million different reasons. But yeah, I tried a lot of things, and that's why I was very skeptical when I heard about digital marketing. I didn't even know what those words meant. Like I literally Googled, like, what is digital marketing? So yeah, but I'm so grateful that last year, actually May 6th, it'll be my 1 year anniversary really, really soon. It has completely transformed my life, and I am so grateful for everything that led me here and for finding it.
That's so exciting. Wow, 31 things. So, yeah, I remember your story of 21 things, and now you're like 31 things.
Yep.
Honestly, I can probably relate. I actually keep telling myself I need to sit down and count how many
Yeah.
different things I've tried over the years. But I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna get back with you and let you know. Um, so when you found, well, actually, I want to go back. I really relate to the having multiple jobs, like at one time. Like, why did you feel like you always needed to take on so many jobs?
Number one, I just wanted safety and security for my kids. Our mortgage was 3,100. And when my ex left, he wasn't giving me any support financially. And as an OT, I think I made about 2,100 working full time. So I was like, what the heck do I do here? I paid for, the mortgage out of my savings until that was completely depleted. Then I started paying for it out of my 401k that I had been putting into. And then, that was gone. And I'm like, well, what do I do now? So it was just what I felt like I had to do, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, and what as an OT, what's your degree? Do you have a master's or bachelor's for that?
Yep, yep. I was the very last graduating class that still accepted a bachelor's, and then they moved to the master's the very next year. Now it's a doctorate, but yeah, I'm grateful that it was just a bachelor's because, I mean, that was still a ton of money, and now I'm not using it. So,
Yes, yes, exactly. For dietitians, they just this year, last year, require a master's now, but I
mhm,
actually got it done as well. And so it's really hard to think about how much education we have and how much we care for our patients
mhm,
and how little that comes in income a lot of times. And the amount of student loans that many of us have that we're still paying for. So I always felt like I needed to take on multiple jobs and multiple side hustles as well. So Carrie, like what shifted for you after you found digital marketing? Like, how did life change for you?
well, yeah, it's a funny story. So because of just all the different times in the past, when you find something new, you're like, this is it. This is the thing that's going to change my life forever. Like, obviously 31 times I thought that. So I just was like, oh gosh, is there really anything out there that actually works anymore? And so I watched a friend doing this online. I admit I was like super judgy. I'm like, what is she doing? And like thought it was just way too good to be true. Because she was talking about quite a good deal of money. But from November through April, I was like, I don't even believe it. And that's just because like I had been hurt so many times. I was guarding my heart, protecting myself. But finally I'm like, well, is it really going to hurt if I just look at it? Like wouldn't it be pretty cool to just make like an extra 1,000 a month, to do fun things with my family or save towards a vacation? Like, wouldn't that be pretty cool? So when I saw what it was, I'm like, okay, maybe I could do this. But literally it was really the most plug and play business I have ever seen. And yeah, I was still working full time when I started this. And, so again, you're like, I'm actually really pretty busy. Can I handle this? Am I going to be completely overwhelmed? Like, I'm not tech savvy. Is this going to be something that I can figure out? I'm a total introvert. Like, I don't like to create content. Like, is this like I just had a million questions, but I was like, okay, well, I just like kind of kept that vision of maybe 1K a month and a family vacation. Like that was what was driving me. So I looked at it and I was like, well, let's see. So I bought it with no expectations because I have bought four other programs with master resale rights. And once I got on the inside, either, the content wasn't good or the person, that was doing the educating in the videos, like they were swearing, there was just maybe something I didn't align with because you don't know until you get it on the inside. So I got on the inside. I'm like, well, let's just see how this goes. Still very skeptical, thinking it was not going to be anything good. But I actually was blown away by the training, by the support, by the community. The one call that like sent me over the edge, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do this, was our founder, Michelle. She was on a coaching call for over 6 hours. And I was like, dear Lord, like, I'm so grateful that there are people like that still do that because I don't think I would have the capacity, but like her heart to serve and to make sure every single person got their questions answered. I was like, wow, this is a person who really does care. And I'm like, okay, I think I have my guard lowered enough to just maybe I'll do a post and see how it goes. But I was still, again, not wanting my kids to come to me, my husband to come to me and be like, hey, Mom, how's that thing signed up for that you said's going to change our life and hasn't done anything? And so I actually hid the posts from my husband, my three kids, and my parents. I didn't want them to see what I was doing because I wasn't sure in myself that like I would commit and actually like do something with this. So that was pretty funny because I think I made my first sale by day three. And then it was kind of starting to roll. By day seven, 1 week in, I had made $10,000 and I was flipping out in my bathroom, trying to like not let anyone hear me crying because I'm supposed to be normal, like nothing's happening? And so I could not even handle it. I'm like, what is going on? And safe to say that by day 30, my skepticism had faded a little bit, and I was ready to tell my three kids, my husband, and my parents what had been going on. So that was so much fun because I actually did individual videos with each of them, just telling them, um, hey, I've been keeping a secret. I started this thing, and um, like their reactions were amazing. My oldest daughter, so by the end of, actually, I couldn't even wait a month. I think I did it a couple days short of a month. But when I told my daughter and my husband, my daughter was like, because I had made, I think when I shared with her, it was like 51,000. And she was like, Mom, that's basically what you make in a year as an OT, because I have never made more than 63,000 in my life working full time in healthcare. So I was like, I can't even believe it. And yeah, in 6 weeks, I made 67,000. And so that was a whole entire year's salary. And so, and then, yeah, my husband was like, what did you like he had no clue. But anyways, that was so much fun. And then actually by day 67, just sitting on my front porch talking with my son Jonah, is when I got that notification that the 111th family joined, and that meant I broke six figures. And that is I don't think I spoke at all that night. I was just like crying and I'm just like, this is so surreal. My nervous system was flipping out and I'm like, this kind of stuff does not happen to people like me. Like I just that's I had very strong limiting beliefs around I'm just a small town girl from like Minnesota I just was raised with not thinking very much of myself. So like this was an amazing experience and I'm really grateful for the way that it's changed my life.
Yeah. I love that story, how you hid it from your whole family just because you're like, if I fail again, I don't want them to be like, what's going on? And I can relate to that so much. Like you just being an entrepreneur at heart, it's like
Yeah.
you just keep going
Yeah.
and you try again and you try again and you try again. And people just kind of look at you like, what is she doing now? Right? What is she doing now? Another one. Oh, great. Let's see how this goes. So how amazing that felt for you to just be able to be like, well,
Mhm.
by the way, here's an extra 100K we have in the bank that I didn't tell you I was working on, behind the scenes in secret. But here, I'm gonna change our lives now. So that's so amazing. Oh my gosh, I love that story so much. Um,
Thank you.
so like for those who don't know what digital marketing is, they're on here, they're like, what is digital marketing? Like, can you just give us a brief rundown, a quick explanation of what exactly digital marketing is?
Well, I feel like I can better maybe explain like what you and I are doing. Digital, I think just means online. And
Yes,
marketing means you're just like talking about it on most of the time it's social media.
exactly.
Oh, but yeah, I mean, what we are doing, I sometimes call it a coaching program. Sometimes I explain it as like, it's basically like affiliate marketing because I'm just sharing an option that I love that has changed my life. And then Michelle and her amazing team, like they still do the coaching, the training, like all the technology, all the inside stuff. So, like, yeah, sometimes because I still get a lot of people that are like, what exactly is this? But it's a coaching program, is how I would describe it. That's going to teach you how to do marketing online. So maybe you have your own thing, it could be a brick and mortar, maybe you sell candles. Like you can learn how to communicate with your market, how to build an audience, how to build an email list, something that you own. It's about storytelling, being you authentically, but it's going to help you do that, find the right platform, find your message. How do you communicate in a way that people will listen? And oh, attraction marketing, that was big. That was so different than all the network marketing stuff that I've done in my past where, they're like, make your list of 100 people and go try and sell them stuff where I'm like, I don't want to do that. I do not want to do any of that. I just want to like put my stuff out there and let the people come to me. And I think that's why this works is I can be myself. I'm not a salesperson, never have been, never will be, but I can share something that I believe in with authenticity and integrity, and then, just answer questions and then let people decide. I'm never, and I know you, Tiffany, I know your heart. Like we're the same, we're never going to be salesy and pushy, but like, hey, let's know that there's an incredible option out there. Ask questions, see if this might be right for you. It might not be, but like why not give it a try? Like I'm so grateful that I just got over my whole judgmentalness, if that's and
Judginess, I don't know.
exactly. And actually just looked to see what this was. So, yeah, that's what I would encourage people to do is just see.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like you described it perfect. Like digital marketing is marketing something in the digital space. So, like, you think about it, we're always marketing things that we love, right? Like, we share stuff on social media. We're marketing our family. We're marketing ourselves. We're marketing the meals that we're eating. Like, whatever it is we're doing, we're marketing that online in the digital world. So, my thought process is why not get paid to do that? Why not get paid to market something that you love in the digital world? That's all it really is. And there's so many different ways you can go about doing it, right? I mean, people can create their own products if they want to and sell it, or they can follow a proven path that's already been done. So, if you don't mind sharing real quick, like, what we're doing. Okay, I don't know how much people know, like, because my community's new, and I do have a blueprint in there that kind of explains what it is. But like, why do you think that digital marketing in general, maybe let's not speak to like the exact program that we do, but in general, why do you think digital marketing is a great option for healthcare professionals like yourself as an OT, myself as a dietitian, or nurses who are burnt out?
Yeah. Well, so I quit OT without a plan. In 2021, I was just way too burnt out. I'm like, I cannot face another day. It was after COVID, everything was crazy. And I came to my husband because my plan was always like, okay, I'll build up another income and then I'll quit OT. But I came to him one Friday afternoon and I'm like, I cannot do another day. And for some reason, he said yes. And I'm so grateful. But I think so when you're thinking about options, like there's a million options out there. I did go into coaching at that point, and yet that took me forever to get going. I had to find my niche, do the market research, do the interviews, do this, do that. Like it literally took me over 3 years to get that profitable, to prove that I had a system and, when we have something that has already been proven, it's basically like a business in a box. And they're like, here you go. We did everything for you. You get a website, you get a funnel, you get emails, you get the program. You don't have to like do the technology help calls like that. I would screw people up all day long if I had to do something like that. Like when you're already burned out, as I
Yeah.
was, I don't want to add that much more to my plate. I literally would not have had the capacity. So I needed something easy, something that you could just hand over and be like, yeah, you just push people, into an automated email system and let the system do the work. You need automations. You need to get out of that cycle of, burnout and have something be easy for once in your life. So that's what I really loved is you really can do this in not an ungodly amount of hours. I've had some ladies get up and running and posting within, 1 to 2 days. Like what other business on earth can you do that? Maybe network marketing, but like this, you don't have to worry about inventory and, physical products and mailings and returns and, uplines and building a team. This is not any kind of MLM thing. You're still the boss. No one's going to tell you what to do. You get to do as much or as little in, you know, the amount of hours that you want. And so, yeah, maybe you only have 1 hour a week or 1 hour a day that you could give this. Is it going to work? I do believe it's going to. It may take a little longer, but like I do believe it's going to work. And just with my experience and the amount of things that I've tried in the past, I really can't say that about any other business. So I just believe like the way that it's been proven, the testimonials of literally anyone being able to plug in, and do digital marketing with a proven system is it's just unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And you're so right. Like that's like we're burnt out. Like we're burnt out. We don't want to put more on our plate in order to make extra money because our job isn't enough
Yeah.
to pay the bills, or we want to leave our job because we're just unhappy and burnt out. Um, so having to do something that takes so much time and energy is really, really challenging. And a lot of people just won't do it because they're like, I don't have the capacity. I don't have
No.
the
Mm-mm.
capacity to do more than I'm already doing, especially with kids. Not saying that people without kids aren't, because before kids, I was working multiple jobs even then. So I didn't have the capacity then either. But um, I think so. For those who don't know, so what we're talking about is we do a program that is master resale rights. And what that means is that when you purchase the program, which is a course, it teaches you everything, you get to resell it for 100% profits as many times as you want to. So it's scalable. Um, which our time isn't. Like when
Yeah.
we're trading our time, right? It's not scalable. So, speaking to the burnt out healthcare professional, like as one and as one for you, um, what parts of the program can you explain to everyone? Like what makes it so simple? Other that you said proven system, but what else? What else is inside that kind of takes the just the burnout away from people who are maybe like, I just don't think I can do one more thing.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there's multiple things that are coming to mind for me. Number one was they call it, it's a 2 hour workday. And maybe you're still like, ooh, that is too much. But again, like I said before, we're the boss. You get to do as much or as little. Maybe you just do like 5 hours on a weekend. Um, but we're given a website, a funnel, the automations. When someone goes to Tiffany's website, they put in their email, they're guided through the system that does so much for us. And that's what I love. I have been an old school, super manual person my whole entire life. And so to have something running in the background for you, just knowing, yep, every, couple days, my people get an email, like that's magic and amazing to me. I love that. And when I would get a sale in the, middle of the night, I'm like, this is craziness. I love that everything is given to us, technology wise. Because again, I was very worried about, can I do this? So the website, I just imported it. Yes, connected it to my domain. The emails are going out and the 2 hour workday. And again, it's a program because I wasn't coaching. I am very, very picky about what good coaching looks like. I've been in so many programs now where, some were good, but most were not. And so to get updated training, education, live coaching, technology support, like the founder of the program is doing live webinars for us on our behalf. I just send an email and invite my people to the webinar, and then she's like, hey, get back to the person that invited you here. Like, I feel like, again, I'm not a lazy person, obviously, at all, but sometimes I'm just like, what do I do with myself now? Like, I literally have so much more time than I ever did, ever in my entire life. So I'm like, I feel like I should be doing something, there's just feeling something wrong. But it's a business where you work smarter and not harder. And I think it's just that breaking that mentality off of me because that was not the way I was raised. So I'm getting used to it though, and I can tell you it's a pretty fun thing to try and get used to.
Yeah, and in a minute, I want you to tell us about all that time you took off recently that you were able to because of this business. But real quick, I just wanted to kind of touch on that. So the program is a one the you're talking about Michelle and the training and everything. Like I have never seen a creator pour into people as much as this woman does. Like, and I know you've seen the same. Like she is an expert in how to market any business online. And so when I say that, it's like this program, you don't have to just go into it and hope that it makes you a lot of money. It's like she inspires you to think outside of the box and find your own passion and purpose if you don't know what that is yet. Like when I started, I was like, I just want to resell the course. I just want to resell the course. And that's fine if that's what people want to do. And many, many people do that. But I wanted to go deeper. I wanted to find a deeper purpose. And that's where I kind of through the course, continuing to do the development of my mindset and the trainings and the course and everything, it led me to the path of realizing I didn't want to just resell the course to make money and to help other people make money. I really wanted to help people get out of that burnout that I felt so deeply for so many years. Like I have left, and I'm sure you have too, like toxic environments that just drained me. Like I couldn't there's places I couldn't go even 6 months in a job because every day it was just constant negativity coming at me or just, people who do one-on-ones like I love that. But if you're an introvert, like having to be on one with people all day long, just talking, 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 it is draining, like draining. And so it's so nice to have that inspiration that just to learn different ways to make money online that
Mhm.
don't take all your time, that are scalable. It's like, okay, you can scale this because they have already done it for you and you can just sell it over and over and over again. But you can also get inspired to create your own things
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
resell that over and over again, which is what led me to, creating my community, the Escape Healthcare Burnout community, which is something I did not think I was going to do. But because of Michelle and because of her vision and because of how inspiring she is, I was like, wow, like I see that. Like I have never felt more purpose in my life than when I had started my community. And I'll tell you, I did have I was in a direct sales company, clothing company years back, five or I don't know how many years it's been now, but left that, 2020, 2019. And I had a community then and it
Mhm.
fueled me. And
Mhm.
but it drained me.
Yeah.
It drained me. And so having this new community, it's different. Like I know how to do it differently so that
Mhm.
it doesn't drain me. And I know that you have a community as well. So I do talk to my members about community building. So can you tell me a little bit too about like why would someone maybe want to build a community? If
Yeah.
as a healthcare professional specifically, like why would someone maybe want to build a community if to get some time back, whether it's maybe there's someone who does a lot of one-to-ones in their niche, or just what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think most of us that get into healthcare, we do it because we have like big hearts. We want to serve, we want to help, we want to make a difference in the world somehow. Like there's just that same level of wanting to make a difference in so many of us who are in healthcare. And I feel like having your own community provides that audience and that base for you to do anything. And I mean, you do want to start with a vision,
Mhm.
maybe you just want to start with connection, but like, say at some point you're like, I would love to have my own group program, one-on-one, whatever it is, in regards to whatever your specialty is. So the nice thing is, like you were talking about is let's just say maybe you want to create a group program for, I'm an occupational therapist and I want to create a group program for like 60-year-old women who, want to, I don't even know what they would want to do, but like care for maybe their husbands better after a stroke, something like that. Like
Yeah.
you want to bring together people who are like-minded, and then you aren't doing the one-on-one stuff. Like when you create a group program, you're inviting everyone to come in like one time a week for maybe an hour, maybe 90 minutes, but you're multiplying your time. So it's not the trading the time for dollars. So it could be a group program, it could be a membership. You could still do one-on-ones if you wanted to. I wouldn't start there just because that's very time intensive. But like, how do you leverage your time? How do you, be bringing in different income streams as you're still at your job? Because you can be building up the audience now, possibly. And I do believe, her mentor says connections equal currency. I really do believe that. And, so right now I have a community. I actually don't know what I'm going to do with it as far as monetizing, but I am about connections and encouraging, and that's just my heart too. So it's like, what brings you joy? What lights you up in a world that is really crazy right now and you might be burned out? Like, what's your message? We all have one, but like, what would make you happy? And for me, I love praying for people. I love encouraging people. So that's what my community is about. I'm sure at some point, in fact, I know at some point I'll be having some more monetized offers. But right now, that's where I'm at. And that brings me happiness, and I'm good with that.
Yes, exactly. So my group is a free group as well, and it's just about bringing people like-minded together and sharing, the people that share the same frustrations, the same pains, that want something different for their lives, and collaborating because we can learn from other people as well. And so I love that. I love your community as well. It's a really awesome one. I'll give you a little shout out. So it's in School, SKOOL, for anyone who doesn't know what School is. Hers is called, it's Mindset and Marketing with God, right? Okay. Really great community. Highly recommend it. Carrie just pours her heart out to everybody, and it's amazing. But community building, like there's just stuff that, and I apologize. I have major squirrel brain. Like I'm going in so many different directions than what I originally planned, but that's the whole fun of this, is just
Yeah.
going with the flow. Um, but like, yeah, like just my mind has been opened up to so many opportunities that I never saw
Yeah.
before when I was burnout, when we were told that the only way was to trade time for dollars, to get a good job, to get a better paying job. And not only that, but in our field, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, that you have to kind of switch jobs a lot to get any more money. Like, I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many years I was told we're getting 1% raises this year, that's it, or no raises this year
Yeah.
because the economy's bad. And it's like, what? Like, I love the saying that you've probably heard it recently too in all of our trainings, but it's you either work to make somebody else rich or to grow somebody else's business, or you work to make your own self rich or to grow your own business. So you're either, maybe you can say it better than me, but you're either working for somebody else or you're working for yourself,
Yeah.
or you're
That's
doing both. It's okay if
right.
that's what you want to do. But a lot of careers these days, especially with inflation,
Yeah.
you it doesn't pay the bills. It
No,
barely pays the
not
bills. There's
enough.
nothing left over.
Yeah.
And so I want you to kind of tell a little bit about your story about how, once you were able to kind of think outside that box of trading time for money and you found digital marketing and it rocked your world and, six figures in 2 months, a little over 2 months is absolutely incredible. And,
Yeah.
of course, I have to plug in, it's not typical, right? It's not
For
typical.
sure.
Carrie isn't, she's tried things over the years. This was her journey. Something clicked when she started this. So I don't want people to think that it's going to happen for them because it doesn't happen for everybody, but it's possible.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know unless you try, right? If you would have said no, you wouldn't have found this. You wouldn't have experienced it. So for anyone out there, while I'm thinking of it, like I want to encourage you that if you feel like you're meant for more and that you are afraid to invest in yourself and your future because of past failed attempts, like those things brought you to where you're at today, and they are going to play a role in what's next. And something I heard recently from one of my mentors, which I absolutely loved, is the more things that you try and fail at necessarily or learn from, if you don't want to call it failing, the more you find what you don't want to do,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
closer you are to finding what you want. So I just want to kind of go back to, I forget what made me think of that because there went my squirrel brain. But tell me about how now that you've done this and how it's changed your life, like what were you able to do for a month?
Yeah. So last summer, okay, so when I actually did tell my husband what I was doing the day before on Facebook group, I made these predictions of like, this is what my husband's gonna say, this is what my daughter's gonna say. And for my husband, I was like, he was gonna say, what the heck, honey? And then like, let's buy a boat. And I hit the nail on the head. He has been talking about a boat for ever since I've known him. We've always wanted a boat. And it's just not been financially possible. And so that was his reaction. And I was like, okay, let's get a boat. And we got a boat last July. And like, it's not about the boat or the money, but like the memories. My kids are older. And I'm like, how do I grab onto this time that I missed with them when I was like this completely frazzled mom that was not very good at being present? And working three jobs or more, you know? And so I'm like, okay, well, if we get a boat, we can be contained in the boat and like make memories because that's what I'm all about. Like, let's make memories. And they're like, oh, okay. But they all love the boat. So yeah, we got that last July. I feel like it completely transformed our summer. We had so much fun, like tubing and going on vacation. And oh my gosh, I paid for a vacation for our family. Like who does that? I just, that's one of those things as a single mom. I'm like, one day I'm going to pay for a vacation. And so I was able to take everyone on vacation in November, no, October then. God told me to quit my job, which was coaching at that time. And I didn't, it was scary, but I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's do this. And so, yeah, I only do this program, digital marketing, 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday. I work 10 hours a week. And so I have way more time freedom than I ever have in the past, which then allowed me to sign up for a ministry school. So I'm in Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry because, yeah, you can't do a full-time job and a part-time job and be in ministry school. So this is something I have always wanted to do. So I was able to sign up for that. And then as part of that program, we do a spring mission trip. And I was just in Bali for 17 days. I was home for 24 hours and then went to our business mastermind. But I literally took off. I did not sit at this desk from March 15th until April 15th. And to not be completely stressed about like, what's going to happen? And is my business going to implode while I'm gone? Am I still going to be making money and still be okay and getting leads and all this kind of stuff? Like, the it was just the complete absence of stress as I was getting ready, other than packing and going around the world, but like I didn't have to worry about my business and that seems so foreign to me, but it was beautiful. Now, one thing went wrong, I was able to jump right back in when I got back and just keep going. So, been a huge blessing.
That's so amazing. I know I always get so stressed out when we have to travel and take a week off, right? Or used to.
Mhm.
And it is such an amazing feeling to be able to just go and serve. Like that's something that a lot of people, they don't realize. It's like, well, I have to work this
Yeah.
job to
Yeah.
pay the bills. This is what I went to school for. This is what I have to do.
Yeah.
But you don't have that time to do all,
No.
especially with kids. Like I can't just pick up and go if I'm working a full-time job. Like, but to be able to serve others in a way that feels good for you or that God has called you to do, I mean, that's the true freedom there. It's not just about money. Like
Mhm.
just it's having the time. Like you can do a lot of good with money and you can do a lot of good with time. And so I just want more people to realize that it's possible to have both. You don't have to have just money or just time. You can have both. There's ways to do it thanks to the internet and thanks to systems and automations, right? Because that's how you were able to go away was your business was set up on a system and it was automated so you could take time away and still see money coming in while you were gone. Um, so that's just so amazing. I appreciate you sharing that. I'm sure we all aspire to be able to do that someday.
Yeah, it was a dream come true for sure. And something I never thought, when you're like, well, when I retire, I'll do that kind of stuff. But
Right.
like, oh my gosh, I can do that right now. Yeah, I actually can.
Yeah, and that's the thing too is when you retire, like how do you know what your health's gonna be like? How do you know you can get up and go? Like it's there's just so many factors, and so um gosh, my head is just spinning with ideas. With ideas for people. So,
Yeah.
what else do you feel that you're being led to share right now? Is there anything you can think of that maybe we didn't touch on?
No, I think just like the main thing that I just want to encourage like your people with in this group is I feel like after a certain point we start to kind of like lose ourselves. We're just like going through the motions. Like this was me. I just like, well, I don't have other options. Like we stop dreaming. We stop like being like, what if, or thinking outside of the box. And, I had an hour and a half commute that I hated. And then I was at a job all day that I liked the kids, but everything else, it was very toxic. It was very hard. It was just, I felt like it was sucking my soul dry. And
Yeah.
so, then when you get home, I'm not a happy, joyful person because I'm feeling fulfilled and excited about what I'm doing in my life. And so, for so many years, I just thought I didn't have a choice. We go to school for so long, we work really hard to get that degree. But like you do, I just want to say you do have choices. If you feel restless, if you feel like I was made for more, I just don't know how to get there, like, just don't stop dreaming. Don't squash those dreams. Like, don't keep pushing that down. Like, that's tapping on your shoulder for a reason. And I would just say explore that. Like it doesn't need to be this program, but don't just waste your time and your years and live with regrets.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love how you said that. Like, just listen to that, and just know you might not know the answer right now,
Yeah.
but there are options.
Yeah.
Like, there are absolutely options. And so, for anyone, who's feeling like I need a change, but I just don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Explore your options.
Yeah.
And like she said, it doesn't have to be this program that we're doing. We, can tell you all the amazing things about it. But really, what we want for you is to be able to escape that burnout that
Mhm.
so many of us feel and are afraid to leave, and to just pursue our calling
Yeah.
and have more freedom in our life so that we're not just feeling stuck in burnout and have nothing to give, nothing left to give. And so I have just had, I just had my third baby.
Mhm.
And so I just, it's just night and day, the joy and the time I'm able to spend and really just be present with my
Ah,
baby
mhm.
because of this freedom now, this freedom to work when I can, to work at nap times, to work in the school pickup lines, to work in the sports practices. That's what I do a lot of my work at. From my phone to when I'm nursing my baby, when he's sleeping on me. Like this morning, he took his nap on me because I didn't want to put him down.
Yep.
I didn't get to enjoy that with my older two kids, and it breaks my heart. But I am so grateful that with my third and final child, that I'm able to soak up every single minute
Mhm.
because of this opportunity. Like, you don't have to trade your time for money. You don't have to, I've stressed that so much. Like, just there's hope, there's a way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for anyone who isn't sure where to start, like reach out to me and
Yeah.
ask me. Kari has talked about how this has changed her life.
Mhm.
Um, you know, y- so it's real, like it's not fake, right? I mean, but I I really want to. My whole purpose behind Escape Healthcare Burnout is to help guide people to something for them. Not
Yeah.
everything is for everybody. And this exact program might not be for everybody. Community building might not be for everybody. But there are so many options in the online space to grab that extra, work towards that extra income and to get your time back and just really change your life for the better. So, yeah, I see we have someone new. Hi, Lisa. Um, I know you're hopping on at the end, but I was gonna say if anyone would like to ask any questions before Carrie hops off.
No, I calculated the time difference
Oh,
wrong. So I thought it was going to start in 15 minutes, and I always like to log on early.
oh,
So,
I'm so sorry. We are recording it though, so I will be sure to give you the recording.
okay.
Yeah. So you can listen to the whole story again. Carrie talked about her story and her, transformation with digital marketing. And yeah, is there anything specific you probably don't because you're just hopping on here at the end?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
I didn't hear much but the end, and I was like, oh my God.
Yes, I'm
Um,
so sorry. I know that time difference always gets us.
mhm.
Well, I appreciate you being on here, Lisa.
All right. Well, I can't wait to watch the recap and
Yeah.
get it all soaked in. After the recap, will there be a place where, if I have any questions, I can? Okay.
Absolutely. So, Lisa, are you in my school community, Escape Healthcare Burnout?
No, I actually just saw that you had a Facebook group, so I was looking for that, and then I was like, oh my God, I got 15 minutes to get in there. So
Oh, okay.
then I hopped over.
So can you message me on Facebook?
Yeah.
And then I'll send you where the recording will be.
Okay.
resources. And then that way we're connected. So any questions that you have, um, yeah, we can chat and I can help you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks. My gosh, I look horrible. I just had a doctor's appointment this morning, so I feel like
You look beautiful. Don't say that
all
about
kinds of
yourself.
tests. I'm so tired.
Aw. Well, Carrie, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and, telling me more of your story, being here for my community. Any last words?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. So much fun just to talk about it. No, I think more than anything is I want women to have hope, to know that their dreams, the desires that God has put in their heart, like it's valid, it's real. They should not keep getting pushed down and squashed like I did to mine. Like just explore things. I know there's amazing things out there, and it's just about finding the right thing for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much. I just always love talking to you and hearing you speak and hearing your story. And I'm sure I'll be asking you to come back and speak with us again in the
That
future.
would be fun. Yeah, awesome.
And thank you for taking the time today to be with us, something that we have now, right? It's time, but
And
it's
I know you're
still precious.
community. So yeah, if you're watching the replay and you have questions, specifics, anything, just tag me and I will answer them too.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, and to anyone watching this, on the replay, just again, reach out if you have questions. I want to be a guide to kind of help you find the right path, the right journey for you. So um, I thrive on connection with people and being there for you. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you all for joining and for watching, and we'll do another one of these soon. Bye. Thanks, Carrie.